Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited to finally share this product with you. So for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, this is the Makse Life goal setting planner combo. It is a goal setting tool as well as a planner at the same time. And it was created by somebody that is a member of this community. And I think that has made all the difference. So for a little bit of background, for those of you who don't know Sierra, she is Planner Friend over on Instagram, and she's been a member of this community for a very long time. She has served on PR teams. She has been an influence to this community for so many years. She's also a coach, like a certified personal coach, where she helps people like in real life accomplish their goals. And she has created a system over the course of her many years of experience to help people achieve their goals. And what she finally did was she combined her love for planners and her love for quality products with her goal setting system. And it is just a perfect blend of goals and planning. I can't wait to show it to you. So I'm gonna stop with the background. She has a video up on their channel, so the Makse Life YouTube channel, flipping through the planner and sharing some of her thoughts. So definitely go check that one out as well. She's also planning to upload a lot more videos over the course of the next couple of weeks and months as the planners launch, in order to share some of her thoughts behind what she created and advice really on achieving your goals and having this tool help you do that. So let's get right into it. The plastic, when I got it, was like, wrapped super tight, but I took it out in order to actually play with it. On the back, there's a sticker that has what kind of planner it is. So there's really 4 different combinations. There is a vertical layout and a horizontal layout, which I have both to show you. And there are 2 covers. There's a yellow cover and a blue cover, which I also have both to show you. So we're gonna start with this one, which is the yellow vertical. And it comes in this beautiful keepsake box. I mean, super high quality box. You could very easily put a sticker over this, put a bow on it, and give it as a gift. It's just a beautiful box. Very high quality. Oh, it's so pretty. So this is the yellow cover. Dun, 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 dun. Let's open the blue one. Oh, it's so pretty. So truthfully, I think I like the blue cover better. But I thought the yellow one looked better with the coil. So I got the yellow one in the vertical layout because I thought that is the one that I would be more likely to use because I'm usually a vertical planner. And then I got the blue one in the horizontal. But let's start with one just to flip through it. The cover is this like linen cover. It's a really hard, sturdy cover. She actually sent me a video of her putting water on the cover and it just comes right off. Like it doesn't stain, but it's not a gloss on the outside. And she said she did that intentional because she thinks that the gloss actually gets damaged more easily. The coil is the wire O binding. It is called light copper, I believe she said. So it's not a true gold. I don't know if the lighting is really picking that up. It is more of a copper color. It's pretty. I mean, I would obviously prefer a silver coil or even a rose gold coil. It's not my favorite, but at least it's not true gold. And then all the other accents are that same copper. So the little eyelet for the elastic and then the logo on the back has the same foiling. The elastic is like this gray and it's a super thick, high quality elastic. So you can take this on and off all year and it's not gonna get messed up. Okay, let's start flipping through. Oh my God, it's so pretty. So throughout the entire planner, they've got this like very light, it's almost like a light blue pinstripe that kind of goes throughout. It's kind of a theme. So you'll see that a lot, especially around the edges of the pages like this. So it starts with, an intro page, you put your name, phone number, email, got some more information, a letter from her, and then it starts with the goal setting. Now, if you have been around, you know that I am a huge fan of the power sheets. I think that they are an incredibly helpful tool to help you figure out what's important to you and really set goals that are actually achievable. Her system is definitely different than the power sheets. There is going to be a system that works better for different people. It really depends on the kind of person that you are. I think that the power sheets prep work is you'll see, is much longer and much more thorough and much more in depth. And I think that there is a benefit to that. I think going through, like really thinking through what's important and answering some of those questions, I think can be really helpful. On the flip side though, the power sheets prep work can be overwhelming. There's a lot of questions there and it can just almost be too much. And the prep work that's part of the system is very, very minimal. She said that for somebody who's done it before, it should take 10 to 15 minutes. If you've never done it before, it might take 20 to 25. That's to get through the entire prep work. And she has reasoning behind that. Like there is a purpose, and I will explain that a little bit more as we start flipping through, but I just want you to be aware that just because there's less prep work doesn't mean it's a worse product. It's just different, and different things work for different people. It has this like getting started page that talks about the background of the product and what they're trying to do. It's got how to use the different features, and then it's got step-by-step how to set your goals and how to go through the process. So the first thing is this compass assessment. She's created this life compass, which has 8 different categories of life. You're going to end up having a score in each one. Now, when I first like flipped through, I was like, I don't want to just pick that, which is actually what the power sheet says. Like, I don't want to just pick like where I'm at on fun and recreation or where I'm at in work and learning. Here's the thing. You don't have to pick. There is a scoring page. So you flip to the scoring page, and on a scale of 1 to 10, you answer each of these questions. So for example, in the personal section is, my basic needs are taken care of. I generally feel happy and fulfilled. I have a positive attitude, etc. And so you give each of these a score from 1 to 10, and then you average them out. And that's your score that goes here on this compass. And so you end up with a score. Like here's an example in the corner. You can have different levels for different categories. And then you think about, well, where do you want to be? Like maybe your work and learning is only at a 3. Well, what would it take to get you to a 5? And you think about how you can get from, this level to the next level. And maybe it's a huge jump. Maybe you want to go from 1 to 10 and you're really going to hone in on that piece of the pie this year, or maybe you just want to go up 1 level and you just want to bump it up a little bit. And then you have an intentions page. So you have one page that's kind of the questions, like, what could you use more of? What could you use less of? These questions, again, are very similar to what comes in the power sheets, but there's a lot less of them. It's a lot shorter and a lot more focused. There's a lot less space to write. And then you do pick a word of the year. Then there is a page on how to set goals. This talks a lot about making goals short and really specific, which you've probably heard before that your goals should be specific. Then it has how to sort of break down those goals. So you've got your annual goals, your monthly goals, and your weekly goals, which I think is really helpful. I think that's something that the power sheets don't do. I mean, they have on the action pages monthly, weekly, and daily, but it doesn't teach you how to break it down really. There is a lot of teaching in this product. It does feel like it is about teaching you a goal setting system and how to apply it to your life and make it work for you, rather than just like, here, answer a bunch of questions. Does that make sense? That's the feel that I get anyways. Obviously, I haven't gone through this yet. I'll spoil it a little bit. I am going to try to use both. My plan is to combine them together. I'm not giving up my power sheets. I want to work through all the prep work, but I also want to incorporate the tools that she has in this planner. And you'll see as we go through, like some of these things I just think are so helpful, and I want to be able to incorporate both. Then you have 2 pages of annual goals. So you have just a big empty space for all 8 of the categories. And she was explaining that on these pages, it's going to be different for different people. Like for her, she fills in a ton of goals. Like she could have anywhere from like 3 to 20 in any one of these categories. It really depends on the category and on the year. Her husband, however, needs to hone in on like 1 or 2 per category, and that's it. And that's the focus. It really depends on how granular you want to get on the goals. If they're little itty bitty goals, not like itty bitty as in like not impactful, but like less work to achieve, if that makes sense, you're going to be able to have more of them, versus if you have a big goal, like if the big goal under health is like lose 50 pounds, well, that's a huge goal. You probably can't have a ton of those huge goals in any given category. So again, you have space to write these 8 goals. Then you have a space to do your vision board. The same page that's in the power sheets. I talked about this in my power sheets review. I'm not a huge vision board person. At least I never went back and looked back on my vision board. Maybe that would be helpful. I don't know. We'll see how I feel about these pages as we get going. Then we have goal setting quick tips, which again, I think are very helpful. She has a lot of knowledge and experience in helping individuals achieve their individual goals. And I think that shows throughout this product. So then it's got this page that talks about just beginning. And her big philosophy, before I start flipping through, is that goal setting is not about actually achieving the goals and what you do and what you accomplish. It's about who you become in the process. It's really more about getting your hands dirty, trying things out, failing at those things, figuring out what works for you, and actually doing the actions rather than taking all this time to set up your goals. And what she has found over the years is the more prep work that you have to do, whether it's at the beginning of the year or the beginning of the month or the beginning of the week, it is way less likely that people are going to follow through with it if there's too much and it's overwhelming. And so she wanted the front part to be quick and short and like get you into the weeds of actual planning and setting your goals and getting your hands dirty. The other thing I want to mention before we get to the actual planner section is all these beginning pages are going to be available as a PDF download on her website. It's not up. I don't know that it's going to be up by the time. I don't know that it's going to be up by the time that I'm sharing this video with you, but it will be up by the time launch rolls around. What I'm really excited about that for is doing this with loved ones. Like I gave my mom a set of power sheets and she didn't even touch them. She's not a paper planner person. So I handed her this big, thick goal setting book and she was like, no. I would love for Sam to also do some sort of goal setting. Like, yes, we do set goals as a couple for our future and our lives, but like, for him personally, he doesn't really set goals. It's like me and work, and that's pretty much it in his life. And I know that he could benefit from something like this. But again, he is a digital planner, and handing him something like this is incredibly overwhelming. But what I am going to hand him is the PDF of this. And I'm going to say, look, I want you to spend 20 minutes and just go through this. And I want you to do that for me. And I think that it would be really helpful and beneficial to your life. And then he can do the rest of it, the planning aspect of it, in his own way, in his phone. But I really appreciate that she's going to offer this front part as a PDF so that you can still encourage and work with loved ones on their goals as well. Now we get into the actual planner piece. And again, this is where the fact that she's a member of this community and she knows what planner people appreciate in high quality planner products really shows and makes this so much more usable and realistic that a planner person who appreciates a good quality paper planner is going to pick this up and use it for the entire year. The tabs are all gray. I mean, I could have talked about it back there, but while we're getting into the planner section, and they have a laminate to them. The actual pages that the tabs are on don't feel any different than the other pages. I'll do a pen test at the end and talk about the paper, but this page doesn't feel any different. Some planners like this page will feel a little bit different. So it starts with a monthly layout. Each of the months has like a color scheme. It is very muted. This is a somewhat neutral planner. It is not 100% black and white and gray, so I would not call it 100% neutral. January is this light blue. I don't know if the lighting is really going to pick that up. I'll flip through all the other months as well so you can see all the different colors. Again, very muted, but not completely color free. So these are the monthly layouts. They start on Sundays. They do have American holidays in them. There's also a quote at the top of each of the months, which I love a good quote, and then a note section, and then a baby calendar for the next month in the corner. Then you have your monthly goals. So before each month starts, you are encouraged to go through all 8 categories and set up goals for the month. And this is, again, a reflection of those annual goals that you set back here. So they can be little things. You can have one, you could have multiple, however it works for you. And she did mention that it is going to be hard at the beginning and trying to figure out what works for you, what doesn't work for you, just like any system, really. I mean, I felt the same way with the power sheets. It took me a long time to figure out what did and what didn't work for me. So there is going to be a learning curve and it's not going to be perfect at the beginning, and that's okay. So then you have a notes and reflections page. I'm not really sure what I would use this page for, especially since it says reflections, but we're still at the beginning of the month. But she does have a notes and reflections for each month. And then at the bottom, there is a tip. This is one of the big reasons I want to try and use this system as well, because all of these tips are so well crafted and placed on purpose. So again, she has worked with so many people and she knows what you need to hear at the beginning of the year, what you need to hear in the middle of the year, what you need to hear at the end of the year. So these tips are placed on purpose. And I think that that's just super helpful. Then you have your weekly actions. So again, all 8 categories, you have one page to set up your weekly actions. And then you get into the weekly layouts. So this is the vertical layout. It is beautiful, y'all. Again, she knows. She incorporated what planners like to see in their products. So there are vertical boxes. There's one header space at the top. Then there are very faint lines down the middle, like the lights almost wash them out, but there are very faint lines. They're fainter than like the lines over here in the notes section. And then there's a little box at the bottom. There's a little heart next to this box at the bottom as well. What she said this was for is for gratitude. She thinks that gratitude is really important. So the heart is there to remind you to, even if you're not going to write something that you're thankful for, just to think about it. And then there is a built-in habit tracker. What? If you know anything about me, I am a sucker for a good habit and for a habit tracker. And the fact that this planner has one built in is amazing. I don't even have words. Now, I typically do track more than 5 habits, but I also like that it makes you focus and makes you pick 5 habits. So even though at the beginning of this, there was no daily action items like the power sheets have, there is still a section to pick some daily actions and focus in on those. So then normally in a normal planner, right, we would flip the page and you would go to the next weekly layout. But you have to set up your weekly actions again. So I'll show you a comparison, but this book is very, very thick because you have this extra layout of notes and reflections with a tip with a weekly action page every single week. And I think that this is one of the aspects that really excites me about using this system is incorporating the weekly actions and looking at them every single week. If you've watched my Power Sheets videos throughout the year, the weekly section is like what I struggle the most with because the monthly section I can schedule throughout the month. The dailies are habits and I can work on those. The weekly ones somehow always struggle. What I also like about this, and she mentioned that, again, you're gonna find a groove that works for you, but this page could end up just being somewhat of a to-do list section, things that you need to get done. It helps you ensure that you are really working on all the different areas of your life. Like you don't just have a bunch of to-dos that are all in one section and not in other sections. Now, obviously there's gonna be weeks that it's really heavy in one and not in the other, but it's nice to see that mapped out. So then you go again to the weekly layout, weekly actions, and you do that for the entire month. And then at the very end of the month, where does the new month start? So this happens after the week with the new month, which is a little bit different. I feel like a lot of planners put their monthly stuff. So right, this is the January to February transition week. And I feel like a lot of planners would put the monthly stuff here before this week starts. She has it after the month starts. So you've got a monthly reflections page. So you've got just like, you know, your biggest wins. Again, similar to the reflections page that is in the Power Sheets that I was not good about using last year. So I don't know, doing 2 monthly reflections pages might be a little much next year, but we'll see. I do like, you know, that you're reflecting on how your month went. And then I really like this, that you're scaling from 1 to 10. How do you feel your month went? And I feel like that's so nice to look back on. I mean, there were months last year or this year rather, that I did a whole lot of nothing. Like I didn't accomplish anything on my list. And then there were months that I did really, really well that I would give, you know, a 9 or a 10. So I kind of like that. Then you have another quote before you start the new month. And then it all starts over. So the color scheme is very similar. It's actually the same like order as the assessment. So we started with the blue in January and now we're on the teal, which is February. Again, still very muted. It's behind the numbers on the monthly layout and then it's up here in the font of the days of the weekly layout and then shaded on the habit tracker. March is a green color. I feel like every planner does green for March. So you've got the green here and you've got the green up here. April is a gray. So that one is really neutral. May is yellow. June is like an orange. July is this like red, muted red. And then August is this purple color. And then you go back to the beginning in September and start with the blue. So I'm actually filming this part on a different day because I completely forgot to talk about the quarterly check-in. So on the different months, like on the tab, there's normally a quote and we talked about that. But on the months where a new quarter is starting, so April, July, and October, there's actually a quarterly check-in and it's just one page. It's just in place of that quote. So it's not a ton of extra work on the quarter, but there is something that you check in with each quarter. And it's mostly just a reassessment of those 8 categories and where you're at. Now, it does say in step 1 to rate your satisfaction. So I don't know if you're supposed to go back through all those questions again. Are these called satisfaction? No, this just says assessment scoring. So I don't know if the difference is here you're supposed to just say how you feel you're doing and compare that to what your original score was. Just kind of think about it. But I do like that there is a check-in with this wheel like during the year. It's not just at the beginning and then at the end, but it's not necessarily every month because that might be a little bit too much. So I think that the quarterly check-in is important, but I like that it's only one page, so it's not too much. I think I just need a little bit of clarity whether I'm supposed to go back and do all those questions again, which you could do from the free PDF that she's offering on the website, or if you're just supposed to pick a score from 1 to 10 and see how it compares to what you had at the beginning of the year. And then there are also a couple reflection questions down at the bottom. So what actions contributed to this? 3 words to describe how I felt over the last 90 days, and then biggest opportunity for growth over the next 90 days. And then in the back, there are a couple pages of extras. So you've got an overview for 2020 and 2021, and then you've got a bunch of notes pages, which we will use. We'll do a pen test in just a minute. And then you have a folder in the back. So it's a paper folder. It's like not laminated at all. It's just paper, and it's double-sided, and they're both like, you know, the same height. And then there is a pocket also in the back here. This is also paper. You could, you know, stick some things in there as well. Now here is the problem with this binding. Like, I would like to flip this over right here, but it's a little bit hard to do because that's like the edge of it. And I know that's one of the big complaints with this binding, but you know, it's all right. It's not the end of the world. That's not a deal breaker for me. This is the blue one, and let me show you the horizontal layout. So everything is the same. All the beginning pages are the same. All the monthly layouts look exactly the same. Same goals, same actions. The only difference is this weekly layout. So we looked at the vertical. This is the horizontal. I am not really a horizontal planner, but I did want to share this with you for those of you who are horizontal planners. So you've got Monday through Thursday on this side and Friday through Sunday on this side, and then a note section, and then you still have the habits. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's actually room for 6 habits in the horizontal. So that's interesting. There's only 5 in the vertical. And it alternates between, again, this like shaded pinstripe and then a white, which I like the contrast of being able to see that. And if you're a very minimalistic planner and you don't use a lot of stickers, I think you'll appreciate that. If you're somebody who likes to use stickers, I think you probably would have preferred that it was all white. I don't use a horizontal, so I don't know if that is something that's going to bother you or not. But that's sort of my initial reaction to that. But same thing, you've got a little heart for gratitude on here as well. And again, the same pages in between, but then this is the horizontal layout. All right, let's do a pen test. I was debating because the vertical is probably the one I'm gonna use, and I will probably gift the horizontal, so I feel like I probably shouldn't do a pen test in the horizontal. I feel like I should do it in my own planner, and I can either leave it back there or I can rip it out. I grabbed a decent amount of pens because I wanted to get a good feel for it. I grabbed 2 more like gel ballpoint pens, the Pilot G2 and the Tool. I grabbed these 2 that have worked really well as pens that don't shadow, so the Micron and the Sharpie pen. I grabbed my favorite Papermate Flare, and then I also grabbed the Erin Condren marker. The paper, she said, is, oh, that's my pen's fault, is recycled paper, so that's really cool. And then the ink is soybean ink, I think is what she said. So it is, I mean, it is very like eco-friendly, which I think is very cool. It is bright white, which I really appreciate. And I forget what she said the thickness was, but it's very thick paper. We shouldn't have too much of an issue with shadowing. And it feels very nice. I think I need to break in this Sharpie pen a little bit more. It's just, I wish it was a little bit thicker. Actually, I probably could buy a thicker one. Oh, I love the flare. All right, and then I'm gonna try the medium side of the Erin Condren. I'm also gonna do the thin side, let's be honest. Okay, let's see what we've got on the other side. So, as expected, the like gel pens do have a ridging on the other side. None of them shadow really at all. I mean, the thick Erin Condren side, there is a really faint shadow, and even on the flare, there's a really faint shadow. But for the most part, I'm very impressed. Let me like write on this side and see what it looks like through once I've already written. Wow. I might be able to use the flare on this without, you know, it being an issue. I feel like there isn't paper that really exists that you can write with these that doesn't ridge on the other side. Let me know if you've ever found anything. Yeah, I mean, you can't tell at all. Once you start writing, you really can't see anything. That's really awesome. I'm very excited about this paper. It also feels super smooth, and it's thick, but it's not too thick that, I mean, this planner is thick. Like when you have an extra page for every single week, plus the front pages, plus like the monthly goals and reflections, you're gonna end up with a really thick planner. So if you are somebody who is looking for a very, very portable system, this might not be the best option for you, but I just think it is beautiful. It's a beautiful product. It is a really just really good system. If you've never done goal setting before, this might be the best option for you to like dip your toes into the water without getting too overwhelmed. However, if you have a planning system that works for you, this might not be the best option for you because it is a goal system intertwined with a planning system. So if you do have a system that works for you, this might not be the best because you would only want to use the goal pages and not necessarily the planning pages. But if you can use one of these planning systems, the horizontal or the vertical, and you have never really dipped your toe into goal setting, or you want to simplify your goal setting, I think that this product is a really great option. All right, let me give you some of the more like information details. So the prices on these are $68, which is very competitive with a nice high quality planner or a nice high quality goal setting system, especially since you're getting both combined together. They are currently available on the website for pre-order. So if you would like to go get it right now, if you saw this video and you're like, Lincoln, I need that in my life, check out the link in my description box and go get this. Go get it today on pre-order. The official launch of the product will be Black Friday. So on Black Friday, they will officially launch, and there will be a couple specials going on. She has not released all the details on the specials related to Black Friday, but there will be a couple specials if you want to wait until Black Friday to order. And then they will start shipping at the beginning of December. I know that she can't wait to have these in your hands and is going to get them to you as soon as possible. And it is helpful that the prep work doesn't take that much time. So even if you get it, in the middle of December, you're still going to have plenty of time to get yourself set up for the year. I had a couple comments within the review, but for the most part, I think that these are really, really beautiful products. And I think that this is a really great option for a lot of people. And I know that this year I struggled a lot with getting my power sheets and my goals incorporated into my planning system. And so having them bundled together in one system just seems like the perfect solution, the perfect answer. I also really just love everything that the company stands behind. She is a planner at heart, but she understands and wants to share the message that you can plan all day long. You can plan all the details. You can plan your little heart out. But at the end of the day, things are going to happen. And the satisfaction comes from staying plugged in and working on things in your life and being satisfied with that, as opposed to actually achieving the goals. Again, it is about who you become in the process and living your life to its fullest, as opposed to checking off all these goals. And I feel like that really spoke to me. And I think that she has created a product that balances the planning that we love to do with the goal setting and the mindset and really focusing on all the aspects of our lives. I totally forgot to share with you, I have one more product that are related that go with the planners. They don't come with them. These are going to be available separately for purchase, but they're little bookmarks and they come, how cute is this little tie? And there are actually 3 of them, and it's in a gray ombre. So there is one for the vision, one for the monthly goals, and one for the week that you're on. That way you can easily flip back to the overall vision. You could either put this on the vision board page, or you could put this on the annual goal page. Then on whatever month you're on, you flip back to the monthly goals. I also could see myself using this on the actual monthly layout. Although I guess the tab does that. Like you could flip to the month with the tab. So I guess this was probably better on the goals, hence the words. And then the last one is for the actual week. And so they clip right into the planner. And then at the bottom, it has Dream Big, Dare to Grow, and Just Begin, which I really like as well. I might buy a second set of these. I wonder if these would clip into my new Power Sheets, since the new Power Sheets have the same binding as these. Anyways, I just wanted to share these with you as well. Again, they are going to be available separately for purchase. There is going to be some sort of bundle with them on the launch, but I don't know what any of those details are. So you can get them now for pre-order, or you can wait until Black Friday for a couple of specials, but I definitely recommend these. I haven't even started using it, but I think just looking at it, knowing Sierra and her background and her knowledge, I think that this is going to be a great tool for a lot of people. So let me know in the comments if there are any other questions that you have about these products. I'm happy to answer more questions in the weekly vlogs on Instagram, wherever. We have a couple weeks that I can keep testing things out for you until they officially launch, but I am so excited that I was able to share them with you and have them in advance and just spread the news about a company that I think is something different, something that the community didn't have. There are some like planners, if you can call them that, on Amazon that have goals and layouts, but they're more like notebook style. They're not coiled, and they're made I think by journal, like it's not the same. Like the mindset of a planner person who appreciates a high quality paper planner mixed with the goals is just, okay, I feel like I've said that a million times. So I'm gonna stop rambling and end this video here. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. That's not what I wanna say. At least I never went back and looked back. I never went, is that right? It really is more about getting dirty, really. The way, like, all right. Oh, no, we want to zoom back out, not zoom back in. So you've got a monthly reflections, but I did want to show you